right, Phil, it's another top 5 list that you've never heard before. I'm just going to spring it on you, see what you say. It's top 5 poker life extravagant purchases.
Okay, so cool. The like big purchases or kind of silly purchases I made. I mean, the most obvious that everybody's going to expect me to say is that I bought a slide in 2008. I moved to New York and bought a condo, and it was actually 2 separate ones on top of each other. Because anyways, I liked the building. They didn't have a unit as big as I wanted. So I bought 2. I connected them. When I met with the architect, in addition to putting stairs to connect the 2, I put a stainless steel slide that connected the top floor to the bottom floor. And actually it was the first residential slide in New York City, I learned, after they filed the whatever with the city. But there have been some since, and I've definitely seen other slides in houses. I mean, I just thought it was funny, and I don't regret it by any means. I didn't use it very often. It was not, I didn't get my money's worth in terms of use because it was actually really fast. And so you had to be kind of ready for an athletic landing or you'd fall. So, you wake up in the morning upstairs, my bedroom was upstairs, and, I wasn't ready to slide down and land in the morning. And then most times the stairs are easier. So I didn't use it that much, but I still enjoyed having it. No regrets there. Another silly purchase or silly sounding purchase that comes to mind very quickly is sitting right in front of me. So these are like cups. Some friends of ours took us on a vacation with like a few couples to Hawaii, and we were staying in this incredible house that is actually the home of another poker player who I don't need to name names, but there were these cups there that we loved, and spoiler alert, they're these. They're titanium, and they, like, you put a drink in here and it stays cold for a really long time. They feel really good. I don't know, things taste better out of them. And so we were all talking about how much we love the cups. And the couple that took us there said, "Oh yeah, we've been here once before. I tried to buy these. You can't buy them. They're made by this one place in Japan. This is their website. You can't contact them. You can't order them online. You just can't buy them." So I was determined to try to find a way. I actually hired through one of those like virtual assistant apps. I got a virtual assistant, and I was just like, "See if you can help me buy these cups." And so they spent a bunch of hours trying to see, and they had to have somebody who could they found somebody who could type like in Japanese, an email with them, and I think maybe even call them. And eventually we figured out how to order, and I actually ordered for the couple that brought us as well as a thank you. But they're like, I don't know, they're in somewhere in like $200, a little more than $200 a cup, but we'll have them forever, right? That's what you'd think. They're indestructible, and I don't know, water tastes better. So I don't regret it. I still think it's a little silly, but I don't regret it. I like these cups a lot. Going back to the number 1, which was the slide, kind of glossed over the first part of that purchase, which is 2 condos in New York City. It was funny because at that point, I'd been successful in poker, but I had really never spent any money because before moving to New York, I lived in Madison, Wisconsin, where I went to college, and just lived generally the life of a college kid, a little bit different. Like, I had a nice TV. The only thing I purchased a big TV, and I would order food more than most of my friends would, because I just would order food. But other than that, I wasn't. I mean, and these are $15. Like, I was ordering $20 meals, not going crazy. But otherwise, I just lived a regular kind of lifestyle. And so going from that, the first real big purchase, other than the TV, was a really big purchase. I don't want to say I regret it, because I don't regret it, but it was a mistake. So I spent, it was just over $3 million for both. And this was at the worst time possible because, I talked to a mortgage broker and was talking about, I could put, 20% down, and, still have my bankroll to play poker with. But what ended up happening is this was like the big crash, like the mortgage crisis, where, a bunch of people were defaulting on their loans and banks were in a lot of trouble. And so basically like the banks were all like, okay, we're not going to loan you money anymore. So what ended up happening is I put a 10% deposit down on these units because they were building them, or like completing them. So I had to put 10% to reserve it. And if I did not come up with the money, I would not get 10% back. It was non-refundable deposit. And then I thought I was going to get, put another 10% down and get a loan for 80%. And then all the loans were gone, basically. So it's funny too. This is 2008. It was my best year ever online. Like, so first of all, what happened is I won a lot more money that year, which helped. But I then basically, I was able to get a loan. So it was two separate units. I was able to get a loan on one of the units, but not the other. And it was still smaller. And then I actually got a loan at the same terms from my dad on the other unit. And I ended up putting, I think, 60% down instead of 20% down, or maybe more. But like, even without my dad's help, it would have been 80%. Even putting 60% down was so much of my poker bankroll that it really kind of hamstrung me for a while in my like being able to play all the games that I wanted to play with as large a percentage of myself as I wanted to have. And it was definitely financially irresponsible. The way I view all kind of extravagant purchases is you can't just view it. It's not just purely objective thing that anybody can view. Oh, that's not worth it. That's worth it. Because it depends on your situation. But basically I was not wealthy enough to have justify that expense for that. Like, I didn't need that nice of a place to live. And, if I was 5 times richer, then sure, then it wouldn't be as much of a reach to get a place that nice, but I wasn't. So I think that was a mistake. I was very thankful to my dad for helping make it not quite as painful and damaging in the moment. And he actually he was willing to do it, but he told me that he wanted me to keep. He wanted me to have a bank account that he could see that would have a year's worth of payments at all times in it, because he was always like, Phil, just put 10% into like a mutual fund or something. He always wanted me to be more careful, and I didn't usually listen, but to that I listened, and like I said, I could have technically done it, but it would have been even more crippling to my poker career at the time. So I could talk about one that I want to get that I haven't. So I was at the dentist recently. I kind of fail to go to the dentist as often as I should. Basically, they're like, you need to get Invisalign, because eventually your bottom teeth are gonna eventually they're gonna fall out, because they're just gonna keep separating. And so I've had Invisalign twice, and I both times didn't wear it. So first I got braces when I was 12, 13. I wore them, but then I didn't wear the retainer. And so then like in my late teens, I needed them again. It was so annoying, and I really, really dislike wearing them. And you have to clean them so much because they get gross, and you have to like take them out when you eat, and then you forget them places. So I really didn't like it. I know a lot of people wear them with no problem. I guess I'm a baby, but I really didn't like it, and I just didn't wear them. And then again, in like my early 20s, I got them. Also didn't wear them. And I know that I'm older now and a little bit more responsible, and I probably would wear them, I think. But the thing is, you have to get them and wear them for whatever. It'll be like, I don't know, a year. But then you just have to wear a retainer every night forever. And that's annoying as well. And like eventually I might stop doing that and then it's all for naught. And I was thinking through, like, okay, first of all, they're not super cheap. You spend money on these. There's physical discomfort for, we'll call it, X percentage of 9 months during that. So this is where I justify costs. So I'm like, so there's the discomfort for X percentage of time. During some of that, I'm going to be playing poker. It's probably going to decrease my hourly rate because I'm going to be in physical pain and emotional distress. So I'm going to play worse. I'm going to lose money playing worse. And then, yeah, forever I have to wear them. And there's probably going to, I'll get worse sleep, which is going to affect my ability to play poker and to work. And so it's actually going to cost a ton of money. And so I'm wondering so I've had a couple of friends who have gotten Veneers, which are super expensive. But I'm wondering if I do that, then I probably wouldn't need braces, I think, because they just like shave your teeth off and then put caps on them, and they probably fit together perfectly. And I think then I would never need braces and never need to wear a retainer every night. And so that's something that I want to propose to my dentist, but I haven't yet. But I think that's a very well justified expense, and I think it will save me money in the long run. Because also, who knows how many times I would need to get Invisalign given my track record. So this doesn't quite fit, but I recently noticed, basically like a lesson that I don't want to teach Spencer, my son. So this was like a year ago now. We had an old iPad that we gave him to play with. He was playing, like, watch it. Like, I mean, obviously it's whatever. It's not fantastic for them overall, but he was doing some educational things, watching some great videos anyways, and giving us a break. So we liked it. He liked it. We didn't have a case on it, and obviously he broke it. So screen cracked, it was ruined. I was like, well, we need to have, so we just got a new one, and we bought a case to go with it. And then, with Amazon, it's right there. So like a day later, he has a new iPad and a case. Basically, like, then over the course of a couple of months, like, there were times where I would tell him to be careful with something because I don't want him to break it. And he's just like, oh, we'll just get another one. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't mean to teach you that. And I don't really know how to unteach you that. So that's something that I'm still actively working on figuring out how to unteach him that, you don't have to be careful with things because you can just get a new one. I guess on the whole, I'm not too embarrassed by that list, but slightly. But that's my list of extravagant purchases, and some lessons learned in the process. Perhaps I learned some lessons so you don't have to, and hopefully you enjoyed listening to me being silly. I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.